Well, hello all. All right, so yesterday on the 25th of November, I went and did the usual check to see how high the king tide was compared to last year. What a difference. So throughout this video, I'll be showing you pictures and little scenes of what I saw on the high tide on the west coast here in the San Francisco Bay. California isn't the only place having the sea level rise problem. They're having severe sea level rise in Venice. Of course, we saw that. They blamed it on the storms, but we know what it was really about. Florida, Hawaii, and San Diego all had major flooding on the 25th. And many king tides have been coming in higher and higher each time, but this one here, quite a difference. Okay, we're over here, and I wanted to show some actual footage of the high tides that are hitting California right now. It's called king tides, and they're up and over the roads, over the bike paths. I'll let you see this right here. Let's take a look here and there. Now let's look right over here. Yeah, you'll see that the buildings, the water's right up to the footing here. So scientists are warning of a less inhabitable hothouse climate state that the Earth is now going through, or going into. So they're saying Earth is at risk of abrupt and irreversible climate change if we don't do something right now. It's another warning. And there's yet another warning coming out, I think it's tomorrow or the next day, from the UN climate summit that's coming up. Well, what you looking that way for? How about over here? There you go. That looks much better. They also say what we're talking about here is a point of no return. Just a bit more rain, a little bit more heat, and that'll do it, they said. We're just almost there. So let's talk about what's causing some of this. Is because we're cutting down so many trees in so many forests. Let's take, for example, the boreal forests of the north hemisphere of the planet Earth. So Canada is cutting 1 million acres a year of forests. The US is beginning to start the project of cutting half of the Tongass National Forest down. Building roads and putting in infrastructure. So the boreal forests remove 113.4 million tons of CO2 a year. So the Canadian forests are 25% of all the remaining boreal forests on the planet. Just cutting down the Tongass by half. This covers 9.2 million acres that will be bare forest. Look at this horrible patchwork of cutting that's going on here in Northern California in the Shasta County area. Just look at this mess. I wanted to talk to you guys about a situation that happened on the 26th of November. And this problem is purely driven by money because people want wooden houses, great big huge thousands of square feet houses here in California and the rest of the US. Big is always best according to the majority of the population here. So they're using up lumber at an unbelievable pace. And how long does it take a boreal forest to regrow? 200, 300, 400 years? Maybe 1,000 years? Using up the planet as fast as possible. Try not to. If you're going to build a house, make it a small house. It's better on the environment. And use long-lasting materials so you're not having to rebuild the house every 5 to 10 years, the way they do so much around here. A complete waste of material and degradation of our planet. Be careful when you use lumber. Remember, it's a finite resource. It can be renewable, but not at this amount of cut down. Over in London, the London Bridge stabbing, practically the whole world knows about it. One stabbing gets this much attention, while on the 27th of November here in the US, 23 people were shot dead, 6 wounded. On the 28th, that's yesterday, Thanksgiving, 14 were shot dead, 6 were wounded. And today, this early in the morning, it's about 9 o'clock, on the 20th, on the 29th, they've already had 2 shooting deaths and 1 injury. Here in the US, the average stabbing count is around 2,000 to 3,000 a year. It never makes the news. That's why the entire US is saying, what is going on with that nonsense? All this excitement over 1 stabbing? That's hardly even worth waking up for. A stabbing? Big deal. And they're calling it a terrorist attack and all this nonsense. You guys will get used to it after a while. I mean, stabbings and shootings happen all over the world constantly. You're just lucky enough to have been smart enough to have stopped it from happening in your country. I appreciate all the ups, the downs, the new subscribers. And until next time, don't forget to leave comments. And don't worry about the stabbing on the bridge. It'll pass. You'll have many more before that's over. In the background, you can see that the water is completely over the roads, so not even cars can pass through. Whoops. Well, so much for that. He doesn't know that that's salt water. Here comes another idiot.